This is the Action Movie Guys podcast, bringing you action movie reviews from across the decades, plus box office numbers and insight like never before. And now, your hosts of the Action Movie Guys podcast, Alex and Nate.
Welcome, everyone, to a brand new episode of the Action Movie Guys podcast, episode 301. We're starting the sequel of Planet of the Apes, remake of Planet of the Apes. It's called Dawn of the Planet of the Apes from 2014. I'm your host, Alex Figueroa. My co-host is
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
All right, Nate. How long has it been since you've seen the sequel?
Oh, you know what? This is weird because I don't rewatch these movies very much. So it's been a long time since I seen it, but when I was watching it, I remembered like everything that was happening. Like I was like, oh, I remember this is gonna happen and this is gonna happen. So there was one or two things I didn't remember, which we'll talk about in the review, but I don't know when the last time I did definitely watch it after the theater. I want to say I watched it when it came out on Blu-ray initially. So maybe 2015. It's been a good 7-8 years since I seen it.
Damn. The last time I seen this film was when I got the 4K. When I went, oh, this is on 4K? And I went, all right. And damn, what was that? I was like last year, I think?
I think you got that box set last year.
Yeah, I think I got that last year. So I was like, oh, crap. And honestly, that's the last time I seen it. And I'm like you, I don't put this series a lot. Yeah. But I know the series is great. I just don't put it much to rewatch.
That's why you don't have to put it a lot. Because it's so good, you don't have to like keep rewatching it. You just watch it every once in a while and then be like, I'm satisfied.
Yeah, exactly. So let's check out the financials, though.
Oh.
Do you think it's that good?
I remember the first one did very well, and it had like a budget. I remember the budget wasn't as high as we thought it was going to be because of all the effects. I think this one probably had a higher budget, but it must have done well because they still made part 3. So I don't know. I'm interested.
All right, here we go. The budget. They gave him a high budget. Okay, they went Matt Reeves. We're gonna sign these checks. We're gonna give you $170 million to make a sequel.
It was like more than double the first one, I think.
And it's crazy because I'm like, where did that money go to? Because this movie didn't have maybe location.
I think this had more CGI apes in it though. They're like all throughout the whole thing, and it's a lot of them.
It could be. Or Gary Oldman took.
They do look better too. They do look better. They hired a new studio to do them. They even look like advanced.
They look better.
Yeah.
So did the people like it? Did the people in the world say yes? We're gonna take this and suck it in. Oh, they kept sucking because this movie. They sucked it in, Nate, because this movie worldwide made $710 million.
Dang, 710, and this 2014 money. So that's easily probably closer to
$1 billion.
Like 900. Yeah, 900 million now at least.
Yeah,
because that was like 10 years ago. Dang. Okay, big hit. Matt Reeves, man, Matt Reeves. Okay, I respect it. I remember the theater was popping when I saw it back in 2014.
Yeah, my theater went nuts.
Yeah.
For this one. So, but let's see. Okay, let's see if the critics and the audience agree.
Yeah. So, now when we do the franchises, I'm going to continue doing what I did in the last franchise where I tell you how much better this movie did than the movie before it. This one is these scores are very good, Alex. 91% critic score, which is 9% higher than Rise of the Planet of the Apes. So increase. Audience score, 88%, which is 11% higher than the last movie. So we'll call it 10 each. We'll average it out. Pretty much 10% up on both the critics and the audiences. More people seem to like this one. I'm not that surprised with it, having seen it. What about you? I'm
not surprised at all. My only thing is now it has to be considered one of the best sequels of a franchise, right? Does it go up there?
I will go so far as to say that not only is this one of the best sequels, I think this trilogy is one of the best trilogies. I said it. Like ever.
Well, okay.
Honestly. And I know we haven't got to the third movie yet.
Yeah.
But 2 in, high quality, and I remember the third one. So I gotta say, but I think you're right. Just from part 2, I think it's overlooked though. No one ever mentions this amongst like the best sequels, but I think it is.
Yeah, I think everyone goes with the whole Terminator 2 and
Godfather 2, Aliens.
Yeah.
The same movies for 45 years.
Yeah. I think the Apes, people are really sleeping on Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I think this has to be it has to be up there. Now, I'm not saying in terms of action movies, the best action movie. No, of course, T2 is going to have that #1 rank for everybody, but you can't sleep on this as a sequel.
This franchise is considered more sci-fi. So it's sci-fi, but there is definitely action in it. So maybe I agree with you.
Do you think now if we go sci-fi action, okay, hear me out before we go on.
Okay.
Would you consider Aliens and Dawn of the Apes as the top 2 sequels in action sci-fi?
I even consider Terminator 2 sci-fi. It's robots.
Well, I mean, it is. Yeah, I mean, it is sci-fi.
So,
but that
if
was
you're
purely
asking me
action.
if I would put this amongst those greats,
Yeah.
I would. I know that kind of spoiled the review a little bit, but I would. I think this, and we're going to talk about it more, but I would. Personally, I would.
I personally would put Aliens, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes as my number ones, like cohesive number ones. Like there's no right or wrong if you go with either one. For me,
I can't think of a sci-fi. I mean, unless you're kind of like Star Wars and stuff like that, because then Empire is like also up there. But that's not really an action movie. That's more pure sci-fi. Yeah, I think you might be onto something there, Alex. I'm not gonna argue with you. I think so. I think it's up there.
It's weird. It's a good question to ask live to the people. We should do a poll live when we come back, when we do our live streams. All right, so with that said, let's get right into the review with the lead character, Caesar, again. Now he has his group of bandits of apes, so I'm going to let you take over. All right, lead character.
I gave him a 5 in the first one, and he's way better in this one. So now it's like a 5+, I guess. He's a 5.1. 5. Caesar, somehow, and I know Andy Serkis, again, great performer. We always got to give props to the mocap people. Andy Serkis does the motion capture and the voice, everything. It's a performer. He's an actor. He's great as Caesar, number 1. Number 2, they've really developed this character, and he's a CGI ape. He's not even like, in this movie, he's now their leader. It's 10 years, we're told. It's 10 years into the future. And he now is the leader of the colony. He's all about family. He's all about the apes. He doesn't hate humans, but he is more so pro-ape. He has a family now, got a wife, got some kids. I love the stuff with the son, where he's trying to teach him, and the son's being a little bit of a brat, but he's like, come on, man, like this is the way, you know what I mean? I love some good father-son stuff. I think he is an amazing character, and I give him another 5. I have no problems with this compared to the first. He's better. I think he's better in this movie. He's more fleshed out, and he's more developed. And character development, that's what you want when you're going from one movie to the next. You don't want the same exact everything the same. You want the same essence plus more, and I think they did the plus more very well. Yeah,
I agree. I gave Caesar a 5. I think Caesar is a remarkable character that's not even real, but it felt real. Like I don't know. There's a way that they wrote him. You're right, and they captured him. Felt like a real ape come to life. So for me, I had to give it a 5 because the journey of him, like you said, taking care of all these apes, now having a family, showing his son, like, I ain't going to be here forever. You're going to have to take care of this if you want to be a leader. And he gets hurt. Koba takes over. Like, it's so much everything. And I think it worked very well. And especially he was trying to give peace. I mean, he did give peace with the humans. It's just a lot of unfortunate events led to what's going to happen, which we're going to talk about in the storyline and stuff. So,
and he was flawed. He's flawed in the sense of he trusted, like he says, he said he trusted the apes over humans no matter what, and that wasn't right necessarily. So even that, he's not perfect. He's not a man, but let's consider him a human. He's not like a perfect ultimate, like he got some issues, and as the movie goes on, those come back to haunt him, and then he has to rise above. So yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, I gave him a 5. All right, main villain, Koba.
Oh boy.
Koba / Gary Oldman, but it's mostly Koba.
Yeah, was Gary Oldman a villain? He wanted to, he didn't believe them, and then he's like, I'll give y'all 3 days. And then they did. He was going to leave them alone. They were just going to, they had military for, if you watch the movie, it's for defense or other humans that might come. But he was willing to leave them alone. Koba is a bastard. And Koba gets a 5. Koba, first of all, he looks awesome for a villain. Like the white eye, the scar. Tony Kebbell, by the way, is the actor who does the mocap and the voice and everything. Bro, Koba's that dude. I know he said there was some stuff that I forgot. The thing I forgot that he does is when he picks up my man's son and throws him off the thing because he won't kill the human.
Oh, Ash? I think he killed Ash.
Ash, yeah, the son of, what's his name? Rocket. He picks it, he drags him up the stairs, and he just chucks him off a balcony like nothing. I said, this is a great villain. If he was, because you got to substitute them like if these were people. And if these were people, he'd be a 5. So as an ape, he's 5. Plus, he has the best. I love the scene where he's like doing the tricks and pretend, and he just starts shooting them. Yeah. Love it. He also rides a horse and shoots 2 machine guns at the same time. I mean, what's not to love? And he shoots Caesar. He frames the humans. He creates a war. Then he goes up on a tower like he's the king and is like, I'm in charge. Koba's in charge. I love him. I think he's a fantastic villain. I give him a 5.
I agree. I'm with you. Koba is a 5. He started the war. I mean, Caesar had everything handled. Koba just pretty much destroyed everything. Pretty much, I mean, he pushed forward what's going to happen in the 3rd movie. I mean, that's pretty much what he did. But in this movie, I mean, you're right. He shot Caesar with the gun, which was like, holy crap.
And he leaves the hat. Remember? He puts the little hat.
Yeah.
So they think it's the man.
Yeah. And what's crazy is like he beats the crap, like Caesar beats the crap out of him in front of everybody and knows, damn, if this dude is full strength, he's gonna beat my ass. But I like the fight between him and on top of the building.
Yep, me too.
Like, you know, he was weak, and we already know if Caesar was in full strength, he would have just whooped his ass all over the place. But I kind of like the fight between the two. I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, you're right. He is a bastard. He did a lot of stuff trying to manipulate everybody, and then everyone's like, oh, freak. Even the people that followed him was like, oh, we did the wrong thing.
Yeah.
When they kind of figured out that Koba was not doing what
he imprisons his own people.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, y'all don't like what I'm doing? Jail. Humans?
Yeah.
Jail. And you know what else I like about him? He didn't start bad. He looks bad, but he starts off, remember, he kills the bear. He saves he saves Caesar. Like, that's his right-hand man. That's what makes it better. When you're betrayed by your right-hand man or one of them. You know what I mean? So what a prick. I love him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a 5 across the board there. Okay, action scenes.
All right, so here's where I was torn now. Y'all were going crazy last week, gave the first one a 5. And the action in this movie is way better. So I actually give this one a 5. The whole last hour has a lot of action. The first hour, none. There's none. Builds the story. You're getting characters. You're getting humans trying to make electricity, right? You're getting all this stuff. As soon as it gets to the Koba shooting Caesar, from then on, which is literally, it's the last 1 hour of the movie, probably 35 to 40 minutes of that is just like action stuff. And it is shot so well. I love the scene where the humans are all on the thing and you just see nothing. And then all of a sudden you just see the gunfire. The apes are shooting. Again, Koba with 2 guns on a horse. When they're riding the horses, it looks like a World War I movie, the way it's shot from the side. It's like going in slow motion. Matt Reeves, is he underrated? Can we just stop? I think Matt Reeves might be underrated, in general. His eye, because we haven't done The Batman yet, but even that had some incredible looking things. The scene with the tank where Koba jumps on the tank and it's all one long take and he beats the dude. He beats the dude and then it's spinning and he's on it and then he gets on the gun, he's shooting and then it is fantastic filmmaking. That alone it's so much cooler than anything in the first movie for me. And then beyond that, then you get more fights throughout. You get them chasing the humans around in their little human world, the little city thing that they live in. On top of that, then you get the action scene where they're on the tower. So you have Koba on the tower fighting Caesar. Caesar's weak because he got shot. And yeah, I think, overall, this one had far superior action, but it's not only is it the right amount, it's also executed extremely well. So for me, I definitely give this one a 5.
I gave the action a 5. Now, again, I gave the first one a 5 too, but again, I gave it for that specific film in terms of action. But in general, this is way better than the first one. Hands down. I mean, you're right. I think Matt Reeves is underrated.
I think so.
His cinematography, it is spot on, bro. It totally looks different from the first film. It feels different. The way he plays with camera angles makes you feel for the apes, especially. Well, that's more storyline, but not really. Especially when they had the shotgun in the box. Mm-hmm. The way he shot that scene, you're like, oh, damn. He made it all happy. And everyone was like, oh, look at the little cute ape. And then that little dickhead was just like, get away from me. And then all of a sudden, he found the shotgun. Yeah. And my man Caesar hit him with the one-arm discus punch. I was like, holy hell. Yes. He hit him hard, bro. Yeah, he did a backflip. Like, I was like, holy crap. So I was like, that right there is great filming. And you're right. Him on the tank spinning and it crashes and you see all the apes running in, And even when the kid got shot, remember when Gary Oldman puts the vest on him. He's like,
oh yeah.
Good. And all of a sudden he turns around, the kid is just like, man, dead, looking at him. Like, that was fun. I think that the fight on the top of the building was spot on fun. I thought it was fun. I mean, it was CGI, but it looked great for a CGI sequence. I thought the beginning stuff was fun too. In the beginning with it wasn't even action, but with the humans coming and the stupid idiot shoots the ape and then you see them all come out.
Even the hunting scene was fun. Remember where they're all like quiet and then they start running, there's a bear and all that. That was awesome.
It was that you could show it was CGI with deers running, but I didn't mind it because I was just like, it looked so well blended with the forest. So yeah, I thought this movie did have I'm gonna be honest, I think this movie has the most action out of the three, right? I don't remember War.
Well,
yeah, I don't remember that one either, but from what I remember, it was called War and they didn't have war. Like, it was just a weird situation there, but I think this one has the most sequence in terms of action, and I think it was fantastic. I think I liked it a lot. It was fun. You know what's cool about this movie, and maybe you agree? It was two different generals leading the apes. You got Caesar in the beginning, and then you got Koba, right? You saw Koba doing all the destruction and everything. When you saw Caesar, it was more unified, more strategic, more planning, while Koba just fucking went straight up against these dudes, and it was just like, he just let everyone die. He didn't give two shit.
Sacrificing his own people. They're blowing up. That one part where they're celebrating, and then the bus blows up.
Yeah, and then he got mad and grabbed two guns. But and you saw like his power is what pretty much like he just wanted power. Like, he wanted to be Caesar, but he wasn't Caesar at the end of everything. So yeah, I gave it a 5 too. All right, storyline.
I think you know where I'm going with this. I think that this movie is a 5 out of 5 for the story. And the reason is because it is 2 hours long. Everything in it feels necessary. You know, sometimes you watch a movie 2 hours and you're like, they could have cut out 15 minutes. They could have taken out this subplot. They could have there's nothing in this that I think they could take it out that would make it any better. And as a matter of fact, anything they took it out would make it worse. You know what I mean? It's all important. Every single element, the human element, I think is very well done. Jason Clarke, even them, like the writers on this movie, really, they wrote the crap out of it. I'll be honest with you, because they even give these little backstories to these, like Carrie Russell. You know, she had the daughter. She clearly died, you know, probably of that flu, the simian flu or whatever. Jason Clarke, you know, he has the son and, you know, probably lost a wife. Whatever. Now they're together. You had that prick of a dude that when you were talking about with the shotgun who just hates the apes, wants them, but he was annoying, but he wasn't like in it so much where you get super tired of him that you're kind of like good when Koba beats the crap out of him. You're like, that's what you get. Koba and Caesar stuff. And I love the way they go back to the house from the original and he finds the video with James Franco and man, they got this guy crying all the time, but like in a good way. Like he feels emotion. And the son, I love the stuff with him and the son that by the end of it, the son is like, follow you, you're right. You know, like this is not the right way. The way they were able to do the faces on these apes where they're like, you could tell that they're like, this ain't right. Something's wrong. This is not. Loved it. Gary Oldman, you can see why he's doing what he's doing. Like, let's be real. If you are a human, these apes just come and start destroying you. You're gonna be like, yeah, let's blow them up. What is going on here? Where the human race needs to live, whoever we got left. So everything makes sense. I don't have any problems with anything. 5.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. Like rewatching this movie, it felt a little lengthy in certain parts. For me, it felt a little lengthy. But I liked it a lot. And I'm not saying it in a bad way, like, oh, it's boring or whatever. I'm just saying it felt a little bit long. It felt like it felt like a Matt Reeves movie. Like it felt Batman. Like I felt like that. Like in terms of like it didn't drag for me. Like I enjoyed the story, but it just when there was no action, you felt the journey of these characters and the character development coming in. I do agree with you. It felt like Last of Us in terms of like, or not even Last of Us or even Walking Dead, if you want to use that analogy of survival character development type thing. I thought it worked very well in terms of the other characters, side characters. The Caesar storyline, I think, is the best storyline here. Him trying to teach his son. And the cool thing I like about it is that, like, they all could talk. It's just that they allow Caesar to talk because he's the main dude. Like, Maurice talked. He was like, run. Like, he told these dudes,
I love that part.
he told a human, like, run. Yeah, he was just like, run. Like, dude, you could get your ass kicked. Like, we know you didn't do it, but run. Like, and then Cornelius doesn't talk as much, but he tries to. So I like that aspect of it, but I love the wife scene. The wife is sick. The minute she gets up, you see him happy. The baby, it looks cool. Even when Caesar got shot, You felt it. Like, you saw everyone just go all haywire because the bullets rang, and then Cobra jumps in a thing. It was like humans came, and then they throw torches and burn their own thing.
Wild.
You know, I was like, this bastard burned his whole village just to take over.
Yeah.
So, like, for me, I was like, that was cool. Even he capturing the humans, like, even how ironic is it, right? The apes throw them into the cage, but then Cornelius releases the humans. Well, technically he didn't because the cage was open, but still he did because he got the guys out the bus. So that was pretty cool. And I like the nod to the first movie. Just to write off James Franco, because I know a lot of people would have been like, why did he go back and see James Franco if he was still in San Francisco? They killed his ass. Yep. They were like, you know what? He got hit with his own virus. He died. On we go. You know, and I kind of like that. I kind of like, and I like the fact that Caesar knew where he came from. And I love the fact that he wanted to go back. Like, even to nurse himself, he wanted to go back home.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, he was just like, he didn't go to a hospital. They could have took him to a hospital. He was just like, no, take me to, you know, thinking that he was still alive. That's what I was thinking. Because I was like, man, why would he want to go? And I was thinking, okay, I think he thought he was still alive. He wanted, he hoped that he was still alive. Yeah, so he could, you know, help me out. But then once he saw that whole place abandoned.
I love that scene where he's watching the video of him with the hug. And like, oh, I thought it was great. That's a good way to, if you're going to kill off a character, that's a good way to, like, at least tie them back into the story.
Yeah. And he didn't even talk about it. The other guy was like, oh, I'm sorry for interrupting you or whatever.
Yeah, he's like, who was that? And he just says, it's a good man.
Yeah.
That was it.
He didn't say father. He didn't say, because, you know, normally these type of movies, they'll be like, oh, father, or, you know, my master, or some stupid shit like Frankenstein. Like, nah, he was just like a good person that took me in. But if he lived there, he would have been like, dad. But yeah, I liked it though. 5 across the board. All right, overall.
I didn't think this was going to happen when I popped this movie in, but this movie's fantastic. This movie is fantastic. I don't have anything wrong with it. I think it is a amazing sequel, way better than the first movie. And I like the first movie. I thought Rise was good. I gave that, 20 or something like that. My score, 20, 21.
21?
Yeah. I think it's very good. And this surpasses it in every way. I think the direction is better. The music is better. The cast is better. Like, the first movie, we talked about James Franco. Like, that's probably not the guy I would pick for that role, even though he did fine. But this one, you got Jason Clarke, Kerry Russell. You got a kid who played Nightcrawler in the new X-Men movies. That was the son. You got Gary Oldman, Oscar winner, one of the best actors of our generation. So yeah, solid. And even like the character actors are very solid in this. And then Andy Serkis took it to a new level with his performance as Caesar. So yeah, I think I'm surprised. I remember always liking this, but I'm surprised that I thought it was as great as it was on the rewatch. I gotta say, I think without having seen War again, because I didn't see it since the theater, this might be my favorite of the three. I think this might be the best one. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe War will knock my socks off again, but 5. I thought this movie was amazing. Like, really, really great.
Yeah, the son Alexander is played by Cody Smith-McPhee.
Yes, Cody Smith-McPhee. Yeah, he played Nightcrawler as the new Nightcrawler, the young one.
Yeah, he was, you know, it's funny. He was kind of useless.
I mean, he was just there for stakes, because they have a kid, and 2, to bond with Maurice, you know, to show that humans aren't all, you know, you have to have a couple likable people. So that's all he was really there for. You're right. He didn't have a storyline. Yeah.
I like Maurice, though. He's my favorite ape.
He looks the most real out of all.
Yeah,
out of all. He looks literally real.
Yeah. I like Maurice. And I was like, when he got shot, I was like, no. I love when my man jumped off the thing.
Yeah.
He hit him with the clothesline. I thought that was pretty cool. He was like, not Maurice. Yes. That's exactly what
Maurice is like. My guy. And he's kind of the teacher. Like, he's smart. He knows how to read and write and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he was cool. I liked him a lot. Yeah, so the question, did Andy Serkis win an Academy Award for Caesar?
No. And I think he didn't even get nominated, and that was the whole thing. People were like, why? Why not? Like, what? That's as much of a performance. Acting is pretending to be someone you're not. What's more of that than being a monkey, ape? You know what I mean? Yeah. You don't see his face, but it is his facial expressions that they're animating. He does the voice, the movements. So I remember them saying that a lot of people felt like they should add either motion capture performance, Oscar, or just consider them as regular performances, because they are.
I kind of agree. I can't see why he was not nominated, because I think he should have won it for this one. Like, if you don't want to do it for the first one, fine.
Yeah.
But in the sequel, he should have got nominated at least for an Oscar and won it. But anyway, overall, it is way better than the first movie. The first movie, I gave it a 4 in terms of overall. because I have my scores here from last time. This is getting a 5. I think this is one of the best ones. And I think the reason why I love the whole Matt Reeves did something super smart. And he did it within 2 hours and 10 minutes. I believe it was 2 hours, 10 minutes to film. That was, he gave a glimpse of hope of humans and apes coexisting together in the real world. And then snatched it away from the audience with Koba. And I think for me, that is great storytelling. Yep. Regardless of director, I mean, director, he did a great job with that, leading the way with his vision. But that is a way to tell a story. Yep. Is you get the people going, wow, you know what? Caesar helped them out. They got the reservoir pumping energy. You saw them all happy. They're listening to, I forgot what the hell it was in the restaurant. Then you see all the lights on, and then Koba fucks it all up. And I was like, you know what? That is awesome, because I felt the emotional journey, and I was just like, damn, I looked at my wife and I was like, this dude is a dick. Like, what a dumbass.
When he tells him, he's like, you didn't tell him about the guns. He's like, you're not either. I'm like, oh no, he's gonna ruin everything. He's gonna ruin it.
I thought that was genius, and for me, it's a 5. I agree with you, and I like the fact that the movie doesn't have as much music. It's just like Batman in terms of ambience and soundtrack. Yeah, because you have soundtrack and then you have the other soundtrack, and I loved it. I was just like, okay, this is great, and the cast is great. And Gary Oldman, you think once you see Gary Oldman's name, and you're like, oh, he's gonna take over the whole thing, but no, he wasn't even there for that much. It was mostly Caesar and Koba. That guy who played Koba should even get nominated for something, because man, he did a great job with Koba.
He's great. Tony Kebbell, I like him in a lot of stuff. I think he's done a couple Guy Ritchie movies. I know he's in Rock and Rolla. He was Dr. Doom in the horrible Fantastic Four. But not his fault. He didn't write it. Yeah. But he's a good actor.
No, he's a fantastic actor. But yeah, they did a great job. Look, overall, it's a 5. This is another 25 out of 25 for me. I think I gave the first one a 24. This is a 25 out of 25.
I think I gave the Town for me as well. 25. Yeah, I have not given out many. Less than 5. I know that. But I was surprised. But when I was sitting there with my phone and I'm making my notes and I'm like, what about this is not a 5? I couldn't think of anything. Usually that's how I do it. I approach every movie as, let's start at 5. I don't start at 1 and work my way up. I start at 5 and then minus. Yeah. I never minused. I was just like, this is good. This is good. This is good. It's a 25 for me as well.
Yeah, and even in that scene where he was like, Caesar was like, I told you not to come, and he came, and he was like, I need to show you something. He was like, show me, right? Yeah. And then they went, and they showed him, and he's trying to explain to him, and then Koba's like, nah, they lying. They're going to try to, whatever, once they get full power. And I'm like, well, I kind of see it from Koba's place, which is kind of true, but Gary Oldman was just like, we could let it be. They give us the electricity, which it was gonna happen, but you really don't know now. And that's the
Gary Oldman just wanted to charge his iPad so he could look at
an old ass iPad, not even the new. That shit was like running
all
iOS
he wanted
9.
to do is charge his iPad. You're right. That's what makes a great movie, I think. When you can understand everyone's point of view, I can see why that, and I can see why that person did, and I can see why that makes it great, because it makes you ask questions. Whose side am I on, really? Who do I agree with, and why?
And not even that, and the fact that and what works about this movie, and I like the formula, is that it's not over explained. Like it's by like little lines in the movie. Koba's like, they could get power, they could come back and kill us. And Caesar's like, yeah, but if we give them power, they'll leave us alone and everything is good. And I'm like, you know what? That is damn smart too. Then Gary Oldman's like, I'm going to give your ass 3 days. If you don't come back, I'm taking everybody out there and we're going to shoot up the whole place. And I'm like, well, I can see it from his point of view too. So I'm like, that's cool. And then when it actually happened, I'm all happy. And I'm like, yeah, the humans are happy. Apes are happy. Then Koba comes and shoots them. And I'm like, oh, damn it. What did you do, Koba? You crazy. Koba crazy. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I liked it. And I thought it was great. Anyway, total points, which we both had the same score. So
25. Perfect score.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a fantastic sequel to a fantastic franchise. All right, what's coming up next, Nate?
All right. So next episode, we are wrapping up our heist month, which means at the end of that episode, I get to tell you what's coming up the following month with Hell or High Water, the last in our heist films. And then we wrap up this franchise next week. It's only 3. War for the Planet of the Apes. I will tell you this much, Alex. This came out in 2017. I started my old podcast in 2017. I remember giving it a 10 out of 10, but I don't remember the movie. So
I gave it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, when I walked out the theater, I was like, amazing. But, that was 6 years ago. I'm a different person. Maybe I feel differently. You never know. I never rewatched it. I only saw it one time at the theater, and that was it. So we'll be wrapping up this franchise with that movie.
All right, guys, there you have it. You guys want to follow us in our social media accounts? Please follow Nate over on Instagram at Netflix Reviews. Check out the podcast with him and his friends called Netflix Movie Reviews. Anything. All right, so Nate has his own live stream. You guys can check it out every other Monday. All right, it's not every Monday. Every other Monday on Instagram at Netflix Reviews. Him and his friends from the podcast came back together again, and they do a 1 hour show. Right? 1 hour show?
Yeah, we just review new movies from the theater, pretty much.
Yeah, there you have it. You guys could do that. Have fun with him. Join the chat and might join them. If you hit that little bloop, join icon. So you might have fun with that. Other than that, you guys want to follow Action Movie Guys, follow Geeks and Flicks on Instagram or head over to our official website, geeksandflicks.com, for all 300 episodes of the Action Movie Guys podcast, live streams, and more. Other than that, I'm your host, Alex Figueroa. My co-host is
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
Be awesome to each other and geek out.